and welcome to the Pikeville City Manager's Report. I'm Jill Fraley-Dotson for the City of Pikeville, and joining me as always, Pikeville City Manager Philip Ellswood. Good day.
Hello, Jill.
And
good to be here.
happy June.
Absolutely.
Can you believe we're already six months into this year?
It's really hard to believe. We've completed almost the first half of the year.
Yeah, almost, and we're still busy. Looking forward to many other things coming, announcements to make, festivals and happenings going on in downtown. So let's get started with some of the new things that have happened with the city. And I want to start first with the Pikeville, the fire department. Ronald Kahn has been with us for 30 years, I think.
Absolutely.
And now he has decided to retire. Let's talk a little bit about Chief Kahn, and then we'll talk about who has now stepped into that position.
Yeah, Ronald became a fireman in 1989, and he quickly progressed through the ranks of the fire department and became the chief in 2007. And he's been chief since then. And just been with the department through a period of unprecedented growth, both at the fire department but the city as well, and has handled that well and has the department in a good position to address all of our needs going forward. You know, like the new developments at the industrial park and all of those things. Our guys are prepared for that, and that's all a testament to his leadership.
Certainly, it's going to be hard to be at a lot of city functions where the fire department is so visible and not see Chief Kahn there, because he's been such a staple for so long.
He has, and he's been so active in the community, coaching baseball and softball, football. So, I mean, he's hopefully he'll remain active in all those things. I'm sure he will, but we'll see him around. But you know, it's always with mixed emotions when somebody leaves. You hate to see them go, but you're also excited to see what the next person will do. You
are, and that person is no stranger. Patrick Bentley now has been appointed fire chief.
Yeah, Patrick was appointed the fire chief last on May the 31st. And his first day was June the 1st. And Packy's been, his nickname is Packy. He's been with the fire department since 1997 and became, after that, he moved into the lieutenant position and the EMS director in 2007 and then a battalion chief in 2014. And he was always on Ronald's crew, so he's kind of followed Ronald through the ranks, so it was a natural progression. But he's been with us for 20 years now and has a wealth of experience and certifications and training, and he has a lot of ideas for what he wants to do.
Yeah, like you said, he's been there for a long time. He's seen how things operate, how things go, and certainly has ideas and a vision for what he wants to see the next few years to prosper into. But because he has now been put in that position, we also have openings for positions.
We do. We're hiring now for a firefighter EMT position that would replace technically Ronald's position in the fire department. But we'll also be looking at promotions to a senior battalion chief in the near future and some other battalion chief positions. The way the fire department works is there's 3 shifts of 8 firefighters that they work a 24-hour shift, then they're off for 2 days. So we'll have 3 battalion chiefs that supervise each one of those shifts. And then in the future, at some point at time, we'll be looking at promoting some others to lieutenant positions as well on each of those shifts.
Lots of changes happening, but also positive changes.
Absolutely, yeah. Packy has a lot of ideas for how he wants to proceed with training and equipment upgrades and things of that nature. And a lot of good ideas, and we're excited to see how they all play out.
We're always excited to see growth within our departments here in the city. The Kentucky Division of Forestry, there's a fire assistance grant we want to talk about.
Yeah, the city's reliant upon grants and been very successful in obtaining those, and this is no different. The Kentucky Division of Forestry requires that firefighters be certified before they can fight forest fires, and certified for forest fires, not just firefighting. So this grant will provide equipment for 10 of our firefighters that, if there's forest fires in the city, they can fight those and assist the Division of Forestry. They've completed their online testing, training, certification, and now it's just getting the equipment and going through the final steps of that process.
Something else we do want to discuss today, and one of my favorite places in the city, and I know many share the same fondness, is the Pikeville Pond.
Right.
We love to go there to fish. We love to go there just to take in the beautiful surroundings that the pond offers. But there are things that we have to do to take care of the pond.
Right. The pond is part of the city's levee flow control system, which is an extremely complicated system. And I've been learning about it recently, and it kind of makes your head swim a little bit. But The fire department maintains that, and they operate the flood control system. So when we're closing the floodgates or changing the water levels in the ponds, they're responsible for all of that. They mow the grass, pick up the trash, all of that. And, the pond, as you said, is a huge asset to our city, and I can see the pond from my back door. And there's always people that are there fishing and kayaking, boating, other things.
Picnicking. A lot of people used to picnicking
absolutely.
all the time along the banks.
There's a large duck population, so people come to feed the ducks. And it's just a great place for families to gather. And we're really proud of that asset and thankful for our fire department for taking care of it.
Yeah, they do a wonderful job maintaining that space in the city. And like I said, one of my favorite places to go, especially on the upper end where you have a playground for the kids and you can see the dock, and we have a huge duck population.
Right.
So it's a wonderful place to take your little ones and enjoy that portion of our town. We had a wonderful event the week of May 15th, or on May 15th, which was Peace Officers Memorial Day and Police Week. A lot of different activities took place during that time. We're going to discuss a little bit of that, but of course with recent events that have happened with our own police department, it was so much, it was of greater importance, I think, to us this year, or hit closer to home than ever before.
Right, I think that's a good way to describe it. That is a holiday, I suppose, that was declared in October of 1962 by President Kennedy, so it's a national celebration. And Police Officer Memorial Day is always May 15th, and whatever week that falls in is Police Week. So our city, through that week, businesses will decorate. We hang flags with blue stripes on them to show our support. We do a lot of things to support our police officers, things that aren't seen as well that we do internally. But every year we have an event at the Expo Center where a number of our local leaders will speak. Our police chief, commissioner, a number of our police officers will speak, where we just recognize the sacrifice that so many officers have made. And as you said, this year it had a more special meaning to us, I suppose, sadly. But there was a lot of discussion of Scotty's life and his career and just a celebration of that. But also all of the other officers that have been killed in the line of duty nationwide. And after the event in the Expo, we all walked over to the Police Officers Memorial, which is on the courthouse plaza. And Scotty's name was unveiled on that as being killed in the line of duty, and there was a moment of silence. And it's just a good way to remember all of our officers, and especially Officer Hamilton.
Yeah, certainly a lot of kids participated too in that ceremony, and I know most recently, just the first weekend of June, there was the Scotty Hamilton Memorial Softball Tournament, something that he was really fond of, had a great love of softball, was very competitive. So we see a lot of different things that are popping up to honor his memory and to really bring awareness to how special our officers in our community are to us.
Yeah, that's one thing that really stood out to, and I think everyone, through Scotty's death, was just how supported our police department is, with just the outpouring of love and support. And it's been nice to see that.
It is something so tragic, but then so many positive things have come from that. I know his family are just very honored and so appreciative of everything that has gone on in his memory. As we talk about some new projects and development that's going on in the city, the Julius Avenue project, there's a couple of different things going on there. Right.
Julius Avenue obviously is located in an area adjacent to University of Pikeville. So it's an area that's ripe for development. The city owns a piece of property on Julius Avenue that will be issuing an advertisement for development proposals and essentially public bids for that property as well. And then the commission will review those and determine what they believe is the best proposal, whether that be a business or an apartment complex or something of that nature. So that advertisement will be out shortly. The way that property now is zoned is that it's in a classification that it's only available for single or double family housing or two family housing. And we are seeking approval from the Planning Commission to rezone that to a designation that you can build any sort of housing in it. So it could be apartment complexes, duplexes, single family housing. So we're opening that up for redevelopment, hoping it will spur some other redevelopment in the area. So that's where we're headed with Julius Avenue.
Can you explain to us a little bit kind of where that property is on Julius Avenue?
Yeah, there's Jefferson Street turns off of Julius Avenue, and it's beyond Jefferson Street, probably 5 to 6 houses, I think. That's on the left side of the road.
Okay. So just as you start up
Right.
Julius Avenue there on the left.
Yes.
So just to kind of give people an idea of where that's going to be if they want to run by there before the bid comes out, so they can
Absolutely.
actually take a look at it. Pikeville Independent Schools, we honor a lot of different groups within our school system because there are so many kids that participate in activities and that deserve recognition. And I was with Elizabeth as she was preparing some things for the commission meeting when you honored the proclamations honoring the band. This group of kids just blows me away with their talent and their dedication to the skills that they have.
Right. You know, we do recognize a lot of different groups at the high school, especially. And whether it be academics or athletics, and now it's the arts. So recently we did recognize several band members. I think there were 55 members of the band that were at the commission meeting and received recognition. And it was for a whole range of different activities. It was for all county band or their wind band or their concert band. Just an impressive list of accomplishments that the commission felt needed to be noticed by the community. So we took some time to do that. And as you said, we've had a number of other proclamations this year for the junior high football team for their state runner-up season. Now the softball team with their regional championship will be doing that in the future, and cheerleading with their national championship. So it's, you know, Pikeville Independent Schools are excellent in so many ways, but especially in academics as well. You know, that's a large part of our economic development recruitment is you have to show good education systems, good quality of life, and having the independent schools makes that really easy.
With their recent graduation, I saw someone mention or heard someone mention the fact that how many scholarships were given to this particular senior class of 69 children. It was over $3 million in scholarship monies. And it's just amazing because most of those students are athletes in some regard, that some of them play 3 sports, 2 sports, and they're just scattered everywhere. But the dedication that they have to their academics and their skills and their athletics is really something to be appreciated.
It is. It's nice to see students that are not just one-dimensional, that are not just focused on academics or athletics, but a whole combination of those things. So.
I always look forward to seeing those accomplishments for
Absolutely.
sure. We always like to dedicate a large portion of our time when we get together to economic development, and certainly the industrial park is always on the top of our list, and people that are and the businesses that are coming to land there. We're going to talk about at least 3 of those today. I want to talk about Silverliner just for a moment and an update. I know they're really progressing. Right.
Silverliner is the company that'll be the tenant for our spec building that we are building now. And that building is moving along quickly. The walls are coming out of the ground now. If you're in the park, you can see some real progress. And we anticipate that building being done by the end of October. So in November, Silverliner will be in there producing tanker trucks and beginning their operations.
Let's remind everyone, too, how many people they're going to employ at first hire.
It's roughly 50 at first, 50 to 75. And then they expect to grow to over 300 employees over the next 5 years.
Like I said, we're already in June. November will be here before you know it.
Right. Yeah, they're having real success with sales, so they may grow beyond 300 quickly.
Well, that would definitely be a great thing.
That certainly
Not
would.
going to complain a bit about that,
right.
are we? Also, App Harvest.
App Harvest is the greenhouse that we've talked about for a long time. And it started as a very large structure, 1.8 million square feet. Well, due to some issues with the site and the ability to build a greenhouse there, that's going to be downsized to a smaller greenhouse, but it'll still be in our park. And it's going to function as more of a research facility in conjunction with UPike and their corporate headquarters. So there'll still be a greenhouse, several acre greenhouse, but it's going to be a little different twist than we had originally thought it was going to be. But we're excited about that project and look forward to it starting.
Still going to be a large facility.
Right.
Now, our largest tenant there, without a doubt, is Interblue.
Right.
And everybody is always anxious to hear the update on Interblue.
Yeah, we announced the Interblue project in December. And, there's not been a lot of visible activity since December, but Interblue has retained an architectural firm in Lexington that has begun their master plan for the 130 so acres that they're getting from the city. And then we received a grant from the Abandoned Minelands program, the same grant that built our spec building. that we right now will be accepting applications or statements of qualifications from architects and engineers. And then we'll be selecting one of those hopefully at our June 11th commission meeting, and then that project will kick off. Now that likely will not be the first building that comes out of the ground at the park. We expect construction there to begin late summer or early fall on some other facilities. So hopefully in the next few months there's going to be a lot of visible progress in the park.
Yeah. Interblue is going to employ several hundred people.
Right, 875 here, and then several more in Lexington at their headquarters.
And of course, when that happens, we will no doubt hear a lot of time to take applications and to apply for different positions there. And I venture to say that will happen fairly soon.
Absolutely, I agree.
Very good. Always excited to see the updates there. Something we always do want to talk about too is the budget, and everybody, is always concerned about money and how it's distributed. And of course, the city of Pikeville is it's completely transparent. So we are very open about things. So we're going to go through a list of different projects that are happening. And the first would be the Huffman Avenue Drainage Project. Right.
When we get to this point of the year, it's time to work on our budget.
Right.
And we take a very conservative approach to the budget and how we prepare it. And thankfully, we usually end up with more money than we budgeted for, which is always good. But the Huffman Avenue project, I'm referring to the intersection with Huffman Avenue and the bypass, which is adjacent to the expo. When we have a large, heavy rain, usually that intersection gets flooded and there's mud and debris and things like that. It happened just recently. So the city's undertaking a project, and we've budgeted for that, that we will hopefully solve all of those issues with replacement of some drains that are not properly sized, or installation of head walls on some culverts, energy dissipation structures that would reduce the speed of the water as it comes off the hill there. And just address a number of issues like that. So hopefully we won't have any more of those problems, and the bypass won't be closed for a period of time. So that's what we're looking to do there.
We've experienced so much heavy rain.
We have.
Over the last few weeks. I mean, it's just been unbelievable, the amount of rain that's come down. So obviously things like that are going to come up.
Sure, and the ground is saturated because of all the rain. So there's not a lot of soaking in, so it all runs off.
Right. We're working to fix that problem.
Absolutely.
Now. Let's talk a little bit about the Bob Amos Event Center space and cabins.
Right. This is a new facility that we're discussing that would be a 300-person capacity event center that would be at the Bob Amos Park overlook. So it won't take the overlook by any means, but it will be at that level so that you can see the cut through downtown Pikeville, just have a great view. And as part of that, we're proposing to build cabins in that vicinity as well. So we're proposing to start with 3 cabins, 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom cabins, and then over time grow to more cabin structures. That is not something we have funding for now, but we're seeking funding for that and hope to be able to do that in the near future. It'll be situated such that the room will have large windows that look out over the cut through. There'll be a lot of outdoor space, patios, decks, outdoor fireplaces, just a really nice event space that we hope will be used widely.
Yeah, just one more thing to offer people that want to have their events, weddings, birthday parties, reunions, anything in the city. And what a phenomenal view of a wonderful project in our city.
It's a good project to go in conjunction with the expo as well, because the expo is needs additional meeting space for conferences or conventions or whatever the case may be. So this would allow them to have some additional space off-site that could be utilized as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Can't wait to see that project get started. The relocation of Emergency Management 911.
Right. Currently our Emergency Management 911 Dispatch Center is in the police department, and that will be relocating to another facility in town. Much larger than it is now, to give them more space for future growth and really to meet their needs as they are currently. And then that'll open up some space in the police department as well that they desperately need. So it's a good project, and it'll be a good boost to morale for our dispatchers and our police.
Certainly so. something that's near and dear to me is the mini park playground. To visit there frequently. If you have little ones, you're always there.
Right. Commissioner May Downey had an idea that who better to design a playground than the users of that playground. So we worked hand in hand with the Pikeville Elementary School, and we want to thank Paula Pugh, the art teacher, and Robert Jones, the principal, for allowing us to do that. But each grade produced a list of the features that they would like to see in the park. And then the third grade students, they all drew a picture of what they think the park should look like. And I think we have some of those for folks to see. And it's really interesting, the ideas that they had, but it will be wheelchair accessible. And we also want it to be speech impaired children can use it as well. So one of the things that we are included in the bid package that would need to be included would be a picture communication symbol panel. So a child that's speech impaired could point to whatever they wanted to do, so their parent or whoever could do that with them. But a number of the things that we're going to have is a play structure, like the large structures that you see in parks that'll have slides. One of the things that's really popular now is musical instruments in parks. So that's one of the things we spec'd was 3 to 5 of those. Handicap accessible merry-go-round. And then the surfacing that we have at Randy Jones Memorial Park at Bob Amos, that'll be included in this park. And then of course swings. Swings are a big thing for kids, so all of those things will be there.
I've always said if you want to know what's really needed in the eyes of a child, just ask them; they'll tell you.
Absolutely,
they have no filter.
And we included those drawings in the bid package so that the prospective bidders can see, kind of what they want and what we're anticipating.
That's exactly right. They are the customers for that park, right?
That's right.
One of the biggest events we've had in a long time in the city took place last winter, and that was with ice skating in the city park, and we're going to still have that.
Right. Yeah, thankfully. We did include that in the budget for that cost, so we'll be having that again in December, and it was a great event. I think we had 4,000 people that actually skated, and it was a nice way to celebrate the Christmas and the winter season.
Great way to get your feet wet, just to kind of see how things go and then expand it.
Right.
So it's going to be bigger and better, obviously, this coming year. Dilapidated structure removal is something that's on the plan this time.
Right, and we're talking about blighted properties that are vacant or abandoned, just in serious state of disrepair. And we've always budgeted for that in the past, but we've increased the budget for that this year. So that's going to be something we're taking a hard look at. We've had a number of properties that we've written several violations on, and those fines are increasing, and we'll be seeking to remove those structures. We don't want that kind of thing in the city. It's not attractive. It is not aesthetically pleasing, and we want to do whatever we can to address those issues.
Let's talk about the bond rating just for a moment. We've seen a lot of different articles come out about the lowering of bond ratings and things of that nature. A lot of people may not understand that, but the city has seen an increase in their bond rating. So I want you to talk a little bit about that and explain exactly what that means for our town. Right.
In November 2017, we were preparing to do a bond issue for our sewer plant and a couple of other projects. And so when you do that, if it's been some time since your last bond issue, one of the rating agencies, in this case Moody's, came and rated our city or our bond rating. So we were rated an AA3, and that's a very high rating. I think Lexington is a AA2. And that was based on a number of things. First of all, it was based on our economy and our tax base. And the rating noted that Pikeville is the regional hub, as we've said for a long time, for retail, commercial, medical facilities in eastern Kentucky, and really a tri-state region, including West Virginia and Virginia. And there's no reason to believe that tax base won't continue to increase. So that's very positive. And then, our region is very reliant on the coal industry. Has been for a long time, and we all know that the coal industry has been decimated. Right. So the Moody's was concerned about that, but noted that our city tax base has shown very little negative impact as a result of that decline in coal. So that also gives them reason to believe that our bonds are very safe. Also, our tax base in the city has increased by 3% every year over the past 5 years, which is unusual, but shows good growth, and we're thankful for that. Our top taxpayers, whether that be, any of the businesses or the Commons property where all the businesses are very stable. There's no concern with their ability to continue. UPike and Pikeville Medical Center were cited as large factors in that, as an institutional presence that continues to expand. Noting UPike's optometry school and their medical school and other programs that they're considering, and then Pikeville Medical Center's growth, its designation as a level 2 trauma center, the only one in the Commonwealth. So a number of great things about those, and they're large contributors to our occupational tax, and we certainly hope that will continue. And then Pikeville's median family income is now 104.8% of the U.S. median income, which has grown. That's grown considerably over the past 5 years. We're probably one of the few areas in Eastern Kentucky that can say that we have a higher median income, and then our population continues to grow as well. Since the 2010 census, it's projected to have grown 2%. Wow. So yeah, we're in a really nice condition and with great growth. And then also the city's financial operations and our reserves. We've had 6 annual operating surpluses. As I was saying earlier, budgeting is conservative, and that demonstrates that. But every year we have been able to add to our reserves, and we have a healthy reserve that should something happen, the city's in a good condition to weather that. And then finally, our debt and pension. And there's been a lot in the news about the pension in Kentucky especially. And there was a lot of pension reform, but our pension obligation did not change substantially from years in the past. And then our debt, we have always maintained our debt at a very, very manageable level. And unlike a lot of cities, we retire our debt, 69% of our debt's retired within 10 years. That's should be an impressive number. A lot of debt doesn't get retired that quickly. So all of those things were cited as reasons for a very strong bond rating. And then Moody's noted that a further upgrade is possible with a significant tax base expansion or material economic diversification. Well, we expect both of those things to happen when Interblu, Silverliner, AppHarvest open. So hopefully in the future, when we have another bond rating, will be increased even further. And, bond rating is very important for the interest that a bond draws from buyers. The higher your rating, the safer it is, so it's much more attractive. And then it also reduces the interest rate for us, so it reduces the cost of issuing the bonds as well.
In a good position.
Absolutely.
Certainly the city of Pikeville
absolutely.
is. As we come to close, we only have just about a minute or so left. I do want to mention the comprehensive plan pretty quickly. Right.
The comprehensive plan is something that we've done historically. I found in my office one from 1972. And we do that periodically about every 5 years, but we look at every facet of the city: tourism, infrastructure, policing, fire departments. And the last one that we did was in August of 2013. And recently I was looking at that, and we've completed almost every goal that we established in that plan. So we will be undertaking another update to our plan shortly, and we'll be calling on a number of interest groups, citizens, students, a number of different types of groups to give their input as we look forward to the next 5 years.
And we do look forward to the next 5 years.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of events going on in the city, and I want to invite everybody to visit Pikeville.com for a listing of all kinds of events at Main Street. The 2D District, the Durham White, has been postponed, so you can find all that information there. Anything happening at the Expo Center, the listing is on visitpikeville.com. Right. Lots to talk about today, and I look forward to the next time that we get to sit down and discuss all the great things happening in the city.
Thank you.
City Manager Philip Elswick, thank you for your time. This has been the Pikeville City Managers Report. Thank you so much for joining us.